Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves.
I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood, cause I'm trying hard to love.
In today's video, I'm just going to be going through some of my collection and I'm going to show you some plants that are finally starting to turn around. I'm also going to talk to you guys a little bit about why they weren't doing the best in the first place, because I think it's important that we talk about imperfect plant care every once in a while, because it's really unrealistic to say that all of our plants are going to look fantastic 100% of the time. And you guys know that's kind of my thing on this channel. I do not pretend to be a perfect plant mom, but I know that by sharing all of my ups and downs with you guys, you really appreciate that and can take it and use it to your advantage and make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that I do if they're preventable. So that's kind of the gist of what today's video is all about. But before we do get into it, if you guys are not already subscribed to the channel, don't forget to click that button down below. Also give this video a thumbs up while you're at it if you enjoy it. And also if you'd like to join as a member, you can do so by clicking that join button down below. There have been a lot of you guys joining lately, and the Discord is so fun. So definitely check that out if you're interested in joining a little community over there. And also if you want to gain access to some extra content, because don't forget, all of my members now gain access to that extra content, not just the top few tiers. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested, but let's get on with today's video. So before I pull the camera off the tripod here, I want to give you guys a little heads up. Honestly, I haven't been feeling fantastic lately. I've been going through some stuff, not gonna get into it, but it's definitely affected my productivity in really all aspects of my life right now. I'm trying to graduate university, which I've talked about recently. I'm also just, trying to get YouTube videos out for you guys, and also trying to take care of my houseplants. And it's a lot, especially while I'm dealing with this. That has led to a lot of my plants struggling. And while I didn't film it, because if you have filmed things before, it takes about 20 times longer to do something and film it than it does to just do it. But I did actually go through and take care of a ton of my plants the other night because I was just in the mood and I felt okay. So I thought it would be a great time to get all of my plant chores done that I needed to. And I'm sorry that I didn't film it for you guys, but in today's video, I'm gonna go through and just give you guys an update on some of the plants that were not doing the best. I also wanna mention I've definitely cut back on the number of plants I have in my house, and I've been less afraid to just throw plants away. I'm not saying to waste plants, because that's not something that you should be doing for sure. You shouldn't buy a plant if you know that you're not going to be able to care for it, but that's not usually the case. We don't usually know that we're not going to be able to take care of that plant. So the best thing that we can do is try our best. And if that plant ends up dying or it gets pests and you cannot deal with it, whether that's physically or mentally, don't feel so bad. It's okay to throw away plants or to give them away, but just remind yourself that your mental health, your physical health come first before your plant's health. That's important. In this room, I have about 25 plants right now. And then in my plant room, I have quite a few more, whether that's in my cabinet or on one of my shelves that I have. But there's definitely quite a few plants just around my house. I'm probably sitting at around 60 to 70 plants. At one point, I was pushing almost 200 plants, and that was manageable at the time. And I don't think that 200 plants is too many if that's your main focus and you have the time to deal with it. But at this moment, that's way too many plants for me. I may go back to a spot where I feel like I can take care of that many plants, but right now, that's definitely not the case. Another reason I don't really want to buy any new plants right now is because I don't know what the future holds for me. And I know that sounds super vague and funny, but truthfully, I'm graduating and I don't know what my job is going to be. I don't know where it's going to be, and I don't know what time I'm going to have to do all of this and even make videos, really. But I know I'm gonna make time for some videos, whether that's on the weekend or whatever. I will still be making videos. I just don't know what my plant care routine is going to look like, and I'm gonna have to shape that around my new life or my new lifestyle when I get a job. Definitely stick around. I'm gonna take you off the tripod now and show you guys some of my healthier looking plants. I apologize if you guys can hear some car noises in the background, but unfortunately it's raining today, so you're gonna hear some slushing by. But yeah, I'm gonna just show you guys some of my healthier looking plants. So this here is my heartleaf philodendron that I love so much. The heartleaf philodendrons are one of my favorite philodendrons. Honestly, it's just such an easy going plant, but I was having some issues with getting runners like these. Honestly, this room didn't get much light at all in the summer because there was a huge tree with a bunch of leaves just blocking all of the sun. But now that it's winter and I've been staying on top of my watering, we're actually getting a ton of new growth. And even though it's really small, it's not skipping nodes, which is the biggest and most key part of this whole thing. Hopefully we do start getting some larger leaves after these ones here, but it is really nice to see it not shooting out runners like it was and skipping every few nodes and putting out new leaves then. But I do think this plant looks really healthy, and I'm glad it's been able to stay that way because I bought it really healthy. So I'm really happy with the way that one's going. I know you guys probably didn't know this because obviously I don't share everything on camera, but unfortunately my really beautiful Hoya Mathilde started to decline. I think it got root rot from underwatering. I'm not sure if all of you guys have seen root rot on Hoyas, but if you underwater them, the roots get really stringy and dry, and it's just as bad as overwatering and rotting the roots away. Anyways, I decided to propagate this one as all of the lower leaves were dropping off, but it's looking really good now. I'm putting it in water here. And if you look, I think we already have the start of some roots right there, which is really exciting. I also decided to take my Hoya Bella Louis Bois and root it once again. This plant seems to get root rot all the time, whether that be in soil or moss or perlite, it just never is perfect. So I'm deciding to root it in some water and we'll see how that goes. I may end up keeping it in water for quite a while, but we'll see. Hopefully it does root. I've just been having so much trouble with this plant and it looks so wrinkly. I'm not sure if you guys can really see that on camera, but it's definitely not doing its best. So we're gonna hydrate it in some water and hopefully we get this plant back and it can eventually transfer into something else other than water. I don't know exactly what medium I'll use for it, but we'll have to see. So I may as well show you this. This is the trellis that Mathilde was on. Right now, I don't actually have any stringy or long Hoyas that I can put on this trellis, so I decided to put my Synapsis on here, and I think it looks really pretty. As you can see, I have my other Synapsis, the Exotica, right here, but this one is actually the Silver Lady, if you're not familiar with different types of Synapsis. I believe that the Silver Lady is one of my favorites. I haven't really decided because I do love these big leaves on the Exotica, which again is doing really well. But the variegation on the Silver Lady is just a little bit more special in my opinion, and it's also just slightly more unique. This one is still in moss. It's probably not a great idea that it's still in moss, but it is doing well for the time being. I just need to make sure I stay on top of watering it, and then it seems to stay okay. I will probably move it over to soil once I get my mixture all set up. I still have to get some of the components of that mixture before I, mix it all up, but I think that this looks pretty good on this trellis and it's doing okay in moss for now. So further down on this shelf, we have my snowdrift. I recently just put the snowdrift here because this room is getting a lot more light than it used to, and I wanted to just see it a little bit more often. So I put it in my living room where I can see it while I watch TV, if I'm watching TV. So yeah, definitely in a better spot for me to view it right now. This plant is doing pretty well, but I wanted to just share with you guys that I did actually propagate it. You can see a little new growth point there that's pushing through, but that was actually for a giveaway that I did with Plant Me Ashley. If you guys haven't seen Plant Me Ashley's channel, it is linked down in my description below. But yeah, it was a little bit sad to cut this guy, but I'm super happy that I was able to send that off to the recipient. Unfortunately, where she's at, there's some pretty bad flooding, which is unfortunate, but Hopefully that plant gets to her okay. Here we also have my philodendron melanochrysum, which you guys have seen in a few recent videos. And as you guys know, I did cut off the other leaves. We are finally getting some growth on the node here. It's finally activating, which is really great to see. And we definitely don't have any pest issues at the moment, which is really nice. I believe we were struggling with some spider mites on one of the other leaves, but I have treated it since and it's doing much, much better. So hopefully that one pushes out a new leaf soon, especially getting that extra sunlight. But yeah, it's just in moss now. I may actually repot it too, give it some nutrients to push out that new leaf. But yeah, the moss is getting a little bit icky. So up on the top on the other shelf here, we have my philodendron Birkin that I got for Christmas last year. We also have a golden Pothos that I have, or actually no, this is Marble Queen. It did lose a couple leaves randomly in the middle there, but the bottom is looking nice and full. It's honestly kind of thriving right now. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I'm not complaining. And then up there we also have my little tiger lily, I think it's called, or no, leopard lily, that's what it is. And it's doing well too. I just need to make sure that I stay on top of the watering because that one is a little bit more thirsty. We've also got some pretty great updates on the pink silver Hoya here. It's finally putting out some new growth, which it hadn't done for a really, really long time. It was just losing leaves, and now it's finally putting out, even though they're a little wimpy, it is putting out leaves. So that is how that guy is doing. Definitely nice to see. I've always loved this pot. I hope that I can find some other ones in the future so I can pick them up again, but it wasn't cheap, but it was definitely worth it. I love this pot. My Paelia, unfortunately, has gone downhill a bit, quite a bit actually. I don't know exactly what went wrong. I think that it's just a little bit more thirsty than I thought because it is quite root bound. So I may need to repot this one when I get that soil mixture going because I think that's kind of the root of my problem here. But as you can see, there is new growth coming in, even though it's just little and scrawny. It is new growth, so we'll take that. Yeah, this one's definitely in need of a repot, which is unfortunate because I really like it in this pot and it probably won't fit in there afterwards. So we'll just have to find it a new cute pot. All right, so I'm in my office now, and as you guys can see, my Hoyas are actually doing really, really well. If you don't already know, Hoyas are known for being very drought tolerant, so they're definitely giving me some grace through this period. I wanna show you guys this. This is looking stunning. This is a propagation that I made of my pubic calyx pink silver. And as you can see, that splashing is amazingly pink. I honestly can't believe how beautiful this plant is. I never expected the leaves to be able to sun stress this way, but they definitely have under this light. One thing that has really helped me out with these Hoyas is putting my grow lights on timers. So now the light comes on for 12 hours every single day, and these plants get everything that they need. I would like to see some new growth from my Quinquenervia, but I won't be super impatient with that one. Also, this guy here, the growth point has dried out completely, but hopefully it shoots out some new growth being under consistent light. I'm also happy to announce that the plants here that I've treated for pests, because they were near the plants with thrips, they don't seem to have thrips. So definitely something that I'm happy about. It's not something I really am worrying about at the moment, but I am checking on them every other day to make sure that I'm not seeing anything risky. Then of course we also have all of the plants in my cabinet. I've done a lot of rearranging of the plants in my cabinet in the last few months. I'm just trying to decide what I want to keep in here and how I want to display it. I think when I get new plants, I will probably be putting them in here if they're more uncommon, but I would really like to fill up that backboard with some really cool plants. I am loving this Campos Partuanum that I got from Botanicas. Really, really beautiful. And even the original leaves have stuck around, even though they were almost transparent when they showed up. So definitely a really happy plant, and that one was in the mail for almost a month. My Syngonium albo is doing much better now that I am staying on top of everything. You can see there's new growth in 2 points here. Really beautiful leaf, and then this more white leaf as well. My pink splash is suffering a little bit, but it's probably a little bit root bound, so this guy will get a repot as well when I do all of that, and maybe I will film that. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a repot from me. It's not really a video that usually does well on my channel because I'm not known for them necessarily, but I will do a little Q&A repot if you guys are interested. Here we also have my philodendron biliaceae, which is just doing better than ever. I'm obsessed with this plant. This is one of my first ever rare plants, and it's just doing fantastic. So never have to worry about that one. Hopefully it never gets pests or just randomly goes and dies on me, but it's such a hardy plant. If you're an underwaterer like me, I totally suggest the Biliaceae for you. Another great update on my Mandula Pothos. There is a big juicy root coming out, so we're gonna be okay. I actually may cut off the bottom nodes there and try to propagate them separately because the root is coming from way up here. But yeah, I don't want it to start rotting because of that extra little plant skin there, so I will probably end up cutting off the bottom bit. Well guys, that's going to be it from me and Lumi. Oh my gosh, look how cute she looks. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this little update video. Let me know if you did by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing down below, and join as a member if you'd like to as well. That's gonna be all from us. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
The wind, it chills you right to the bone, and soon we'll say hello to evening snow. So what will you do when the air gets cold? Won't you quicken your steps and hurry on home? Don't you wanna get cozy with me? We'll dive into a reverie. Oh, don't you wanna get cozy? We'll sail across an ocean of sheets. Dun, 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 dun.